like zapped into another fucking world, pulls up to you, starts talking, you're not gonna go, what the fuck? Get away from me. Because I promise you, yes the fuck you would.
I have just begun. Ain't no mercy. Ain't no mercy.
Yo, what is up today, ladies and gentlemen? The hustle begins when talking about Digimon, right? Because, honestly, I've made many videos on my channel. Mostly what ifs, a couple just ranking animes, a couple talking about animes. But Digimon was the one I truly enjoyed making. Wanna know why? Because I love Digimon. And joining me today will be my homeboy Silver. Don't worry, I'll put him in here somewhere too. Anyways, let's begin. We're talking about Digimon Adventure 1. Digimon Adventure 1 was truly the beginning of all that we hold dear in the Digimon universe. Some people might say it might be the highest point Digimon ever has, but to me, it's not the highest point, it's just the perfect start. Because I've never seen a better beginning to an anime such as like Digimon, Pokemon, stuff like that, as Digimon Adventure 1 had. Don't get me wrong, Pokemon was cool, and I get that they're technically in a world where that shit's normal and they're not gonna have any weird reactions, and I get that. But the way Digimon kind of makes you feel like you're a part of the story almost when you're first watching it, because when you're first watching it, you're like, oh, they're living a day-to-day life like the rest of us, you know? And then suddenly, a random-ass tsunami hits, and they're in this new world, and they're like, ayo, what the fuck just happened? And then suddenly, little talking creatures pull up like, hi, Ty! No, what? Get away! And I, personally, I would be too. Tell me if a random talking creature, when you just got like zapped into another fucking world, pulls up to you, starts talking, you're not gonna go, what the fuck? Get away from me. Because I promise you, yes the fuck you would. I don't care how tough you are. It doesn't mean you're scared. You're just like, what the fuck? Get away from me. It doesn't mean you're scared. You just don't want to be around it because you're like, what the fuck is that? And personally, that'd be me too. And personally, I would adapt as fast as Ty because I just don't give a shit. But you know, that's just it just grabs you like that, you know? It's just a regular summer camp and then boom! Smack dab in the middle of the digital world, about to get their ass eaten by a Kawagamon. Whoo-wee! That was an adrenaline rush now, wasn't it? Bro, that shit was my childhood. Came out before I was born, but that was my childhood. Grew up on 01, 02 Tamers. Fuck Frontier. Die on that Hill. Fuck Frontier. Data Squad. Grew up on all that shit. Fusion? Fuck yeah. I even still watch Digimon Ghost Game when it was coming out and shit. I love the Digimon series. And I will always love it. But Digimon 01 is where it all began. And I liked the progression throughout it. It was happening quickly, but it didn't feel like it was happening so fast. You know what I mean? Like, in the first episode, they all go from in training to rookie, and that's fine. Then the next episode, Greymon. Episode after that, we get a Gurumon. After that. And it goes like that until you get to the end. And it just keeps adapting, and then it becomes like every few episodes we get an ultimate, and at the end we get our boys, you know, our boys, when they get their Mega Digimon, and that shit went crazy, I tell ya. And speaking of, how the fuck is Angemon on par with Angelwomon when one's a fucking champion and the other's a fucking ultimate? Sorry, that was a sidetrack. Anyways, Digimon 01 was great. And I even loved when they added Kari to the shit, just going, oh yo, there's an extra Digidestined. And they're all like, oh no, we need to find out who this extra Digidestined is, and they're Digimon. And then it turns out to be the evil Gatomon, turning into Kari's Digimon, and Gatomon ends up being great. Fucking love the progression it took. but my god, it was the beginning of the end for Leomon. Leomon just doesn't get a break. My boy doesn't get a break. And as much as Leomon's death hurt a little bit, it did not hurt the same way Wizardsmon did. Because that boy was doing everything for Gatomon, and then he kicked the fucking bucket! Fuck! Well, that's all I got on 01 personally. I don't need to explain everything in detail. If you want to know everything in detail, either go watch it or watch the video I'm eventually going to make. Not today, though. I can't be at that today. It's what? 3:45 a.m. Pretty late, ain't it? Anyways, so next we shall talk about
Hey guys, it's Sylvie D. Fang. Yohane told me about this project, and I thought it was a cool idea to talk about a couple of Digimon seasons that really affected me. Starting off with Digimon Adventures 2. Not only is it the only sequel series to Digimon we have, I think it actually evolves everything the original did. No pun intended. Not only did we get new styles of evolutions, new ways of the digital world, new landscape, new bosses and villains, but I think it actually did something that the original Adventures never really did, which was the computer element. Because, like, yeah, they definitely got the monster element, but it's digital monsters, and it never fully felt like a digital world. It felt more magic and, like, supernatural. Season 2 very much is digital. It's about, like, upgrades and, like, modifying DNA and all that stuff. It really felt like digital world, digital monsters, digital problems. Like, first arc we get is about mind control slave callers, corrupting codes, Wi-Fi black spear towers, going in and out using the internet, and like it finally felt like a digital world. On top of that, we get our first human villain, which really brings in the idea of corruption, which this Adventures 2 is all about corruption and free will. Like, so after we get the whole, like, evil emperor arc, we get introduced to these two characters who go around turning these spires of black metal that can manipulate Digimon into dark, corrupted codes into their own Digimon. And on top of that, like, we learn armor Digimon, which is kind of like antivirus coding, and we also learn later on mutation evolution, which is combining two codes into one creature, and we get some really cool designs. Also, the introduction of Dark War Greymon, which is one of the best sympathetic villains in all of Digimon. Because he didn't want to be made, he didn't want to be this problem, but by being alive, he is a disaster walking. Also, later on in the show, the Spires show up in the real world, and they go on this world tour, and it turns out it's not just these Digidescents, but there's like Digidescents all around the world, which again, that brings a new element. We see French, Mexican, Australian Digimon, and I've watched those episodes so many times because it felt, as a Canadian, it felt weirdly connected, even though none of those cultures I'm connected to, but it felt more global. And then we get an interesting concept, which is these kids coming together through depression and just upset in their life, and that's feeding into the main villain of all of Adventures 2's plan of, like, this suicide cult that they all come together to sacrifice themselves and feed into his, like, power. Adventures 2, it might not be the most technical Digimon season, but I think it's the most Digimon season. It is the best representation of what Digimon should be about.
No transition this time either. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye. Peace.